Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Travel Reimbursement Policy Training for policy number 32. First, let's start off with some important information about the policy. Our policy went into effective date on 10/1/22. We've had a few revision dates back in 2016 and 2019, and our next revision date will be in 2025. This policy supersedes all travel reimbursement policies prior to 10/1/22. It is important to note that the approving authority is Madison Petrie, the senior HRM, who was appointed on 8/31/22. Next, let's talk about our purpose. The purpose of this policy is to set guidelines for employee travel reimbursement on company-instructed work trips. Let's get into the scope of this policy. This policy is applicable to all employees at the Huntington, West Virginia location. Any employee who has been instructed by the HRM to attend company events and trainings are eligible to receive partial to full travel reimbursement based upon requirements. These requirements will be acknowledged in the continuation of this training. In order to receive partial to full travel reimbursement, an employee will have prior approval to travel and provide itemized receipts. Let's get into our requirements. The following are common travel-related expenses that may be reimbursed with a detailed itemized receipt. Starting off, we have a hotel receipt. Next, meals not provided will be reimbursed based off the current GSA per diem rates. Airline tickets and train tickets, as well as registration fees and vehicle rental. Fuel for vehicle rental only. Any mileage incurred by an employee may be reimbursed based upon established rates. And finally, fuel may also be reimbursed for personal vehicles provided proper documentation. This policy does not cover the following: alcoholic beverages, any time spent outside of the set dates for company-mandated events, and non-related business expenses. Before we proceed, let's look at some key definitions to help understand the policy. HRM is our human resource manager. Reimbursement is a sum paid to cover money that has been spent or lost. Mandated is an official order to do something, can either be verbal or written. In our case, it should be both. A receipt is a written or printed statement acknowledging that something has been paid for or that goods have been received. It is proof or evidence of something. GSA is the U.S. General Services Administration. Following that, the GSA per diem is the reimbursement rates that federal agencies use to reimburse their employees for subsistence expenses that have been incurred while on official travel within the continental U.S. Let's talk about some responsibilities. The following individual has the responsibility to enforce this policy. That would be our senior HRM, Madison Petrie. We've got manager responsibilities out of the way, so let's talk about some employee responsibilities. Each employee is responsible for maintaining accurate and itemized documents and providing appropriate documentation within 60 days of final travel. Documents not provided within 60 days may not be considered for reimbursement. It is important to note that the entire travel reimbursement policy we are training for is in reference to the IRS Publication 463 from 2021. If any travel is not appropriate, please see the disciplinary policy. Finally, let's talk about our procedure. Travel must be pre-authorized by a manager or authority. Employees may be given at least a 2-week notice before some company travel. Within 60 days of travel, the employee may submit a request for reimbursement and an accounting of itemized expenses that has been supported by receipts and evidence of expenditures. Following the submission of the request, an approving authority will review and audit the request for compliance with the travel reimbursement guidelines. After the approving authority has signed the final document and has provided the amount of reimbursement, the employee will then receive any reimbursement amount that has been approved. Now that you've completed the travel reimbursement policy training, any questions that may arise will be directed towards our senior HRM. Our senior HRM has all authority over the policy at hand. Thank you.